Mental rituals, they work. That's the problem. So the issue isn't the obsession or the intrusive thought by itself. It's actually just about reducing anxiety. When? Now. Because when the mind learns that thinking is the response to anxiety, guess what happens next? Yep, more thinking. And the questions never end. Have you ever had a scary health thought pop up into your mind and then spent like the next 20 minutes trying to think your way out of it? Replaying symptoms, analyzing the timeline, telling yourself, no, that doesn't make sense. And somehow, the more you think, the less certain you feel. There are two very different kinds of thought processes happening. There's obsessions. They're intrusive, unwanted. They show up automatically. They're out of your control. And then there's the mental rituals. Intentional thinking, yes, they're intentional, and they're used to reduce anxiety or gain certainty, solve doubt, solve the problem. The difference isn't what the thought is about. It's about why the thinking is happening. Because the moment thinking becomes an attempt to eliminate uncertainty, it shifts from normal reflection to anxiety-driven processing. Basically, your brain goes from thinking to running a full internal investigation, with you as both the detective and the suspect. Sound familiar? So, obsessions are intrusive thoughts. They show up suddenly, they feel unwanted, they're disturbing, they trigger anxiety, they definitely feel urgent, and they often focus on worst-case scenarios. Yeah, cancer, tumors, not just headaches and stomach aches. In health anxiety, they sound like, what if this headache is something serious? Oh my goodness, I think the doctor missed something. And the discomfort it creates makes the mind want to respond immediately. Yeah, immediately. So, what are mental rituals? They might include like mentally reviewing symptoms, replaying doctor's visits, analyzing timelines, comparing today to yesterday, telling yourself logical reasons it's probably nothing. Definitely reassuring yourself over and over. And if you heard a few seconds ago, I threw a few what if questions into the obsessions, it gets really tricky because sometimes what if this is a brain tumor is an obsession. Oh my goodness. What if this is a brain tumor? That's a mental ritual. The thinking, it's productive. It's weird, but it's productive and it feels responsible. It's kind of in problem-solving mode. But the purpose of the thinking, it's actually just about reducing anxiety. When? Now. And that's what makes it a ritual. Mental rituals are like refreshing your email over and over again, waiting to find out if you got those concert tickets. Or if you're a parent of a camper, refresh, please let me see a picture of my kid. So, why are mental rituals keeping the cycle going? Well, here's the paradox. Mental rituals, they work. That's the problem. Except it's temporary. You analyze the situation, you come up with a reassuring explanation, your anxiety, it kind of drops. But then, the thought comes back. It's an obsession. It's an intrusive thought. It's not even up to you. Because the brain's learned something super important. When this thought shows up, we get to analyze it. And the more you engage mentally, the more the brain treats the original question or concern as super important. And the cycle begins again. Intrusive thought leads to anxiety, leads to mental analysis, leads to some relief, maybe even some certainty, and then the thought returns. That's the intrusive thought. So the issue isn't the obsession or the intrusive thought by itself. It's really its friendship with the mental response or the mental ritual. That's what reinforces it. So, if your mind feels busy, repetitive, or stuck analyzing health fears, this doesn't mean you're overthinking because you're careless or dramatic. It means your brain is trying to protect you by thinking its way to certainty. You trained it to do that. The intrusive thought, it's the trigger. But the mental ritual, the repeated attempts to solve, analyze, reassure, and eliminate the doubt, that's what keeps the cycle active. Because when the mind learns that thinking is the response to anxiety, guess what happens next? Yep, more thinking. And the questions never end. So if we whittle it all down, what did we learn? Obsessions, they're intrusive. They're automatic. They trigger anxiety, all about uncertainty, and they're not up to you. Mental rituals, they are intentional. They're thinking patterns aimed at reducing the anxiety, gaining certainty. And in health anxiety, mental reviewing, analyzing, and self-reassuring are the most common mental rituals. So is body scanning, by the way. That's in another video. Mental rituals provide temporary relief, but they teach the brain that the intrusive thought requires analysis. And when thinking becomes repetitive and driven by the need for certainty, it's just going to reinforce the anxiety cycle. So if you got all of that from this video, you're doing great. And that means you're one step closer to learning how to live with fear, not in fear. Much love.